What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
It's time!
Welcome back to another Sunday afternoon episode of Software Explorations. We are jumping back into Terraform. You know, that's what we do on Sundays. We are working on getting our DevOps skills up, learning infrastructure as code. So we are here to work on that together as usual. But first and foremost, let me just wish everyone out there a happy St. Patrick's Day. And to a really, really good friend of mine, happy birthday to you, Michelle. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to go through our introductions and our agenda, and then we're going to get into work. But also, my good friend, the test lead, Justin at the test lead, he released a video that we worked on together. I mean, it wasn't an interview mainly. We were just like having a conversation going back and forth between two QA engineers who've been doing it for a while. And I had a great time, and we plan to do it more often, maybe like once a quarter or something like that. And what we'll do as we get into our show, I'll just play the introduction of it, and I'll drop the link so that you can go watch it later. But we had a great time. So, you know what? Let's just rewind just a bit. Rewind. A lot of you may know who I am, but if you do not know who I am your host of the show and of the channel. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. All right. So that's what we do. So like I was saying, we're going to just watch the intro to the hour-long conversation that I had with Justin at the test lead. And and then I'll drop the link so you can go and watch that for yourself after this show. After the show, not during the show, but watch it after the show. And you can see about like different topics that we talk about. We'll watch the introduction together, just so that you can have an idea, and then definitely tune in to watch that. All right. So let's get into our agenda. Let me pull it up. Let's get this agenda up. Let's go with that one. All right. So first and foremost, today's topic, we're going to review what I did to get the domain name working, that we switched over from the subdomain that was techcoachralph.dev to the new domain of poopypants.app. And we are going to take a look at the configuration for MongoDB. But that's already done. So we're going to look at that, and then we're going to start looking into Docker and Terraform on AWS. All right. So that's the plan. And, we'll adjust as necessary. So that's the plan for today. That's our topic for today. But first and foremost, like I always like to do, I want to say a big thank you, a big shout out to all of the newest subscribers. You guys are absolutely amazing.
I appreciate you.
As well as the people who have been subscribed to me, my subscribers for a very, very long time now. You guys are more than subscribers. You guys are my friends. So I really, really appreciate everyone who has subscribed to the channel as we are growing, as we are providing value information. Like every single day, I'm looking to add value into your life. We talk about different topics. We touch on different subjects, so we'll get through it as we go into our show schedule, but we do Flutter mobile development. We do QA automation. We do Terraform. We have Q&A nights. And then, we have the software explorations that we have, like the pre-recorded content where we premiere it. We do the bug bite, so many different things, something for everyone. And then like the clips from the Q&A shows that trying to give you better insight, better understanding, things like that. So, I'm just trying to provide as much value to you as possible. So hopefully that helps. And if you ever have any ideas or suggestions, content that you'd like to see covered, then by all means, I am here to serve you. Okay. So with that being said, let's jump into before we go on. Also, I want to give a big salute to my tech barbarians. I'm getting some amazing new signups, and where, if you want to work, if you want to have an idea of how it is to be in the software development industry, like in the tech industry. So, whether you have aspirations of cybersecurity, of QA, software engineer, I will give you that experience so you can see what you're getting into and how to maximize what you have learned. All right. So that is a big salute to all of my tech barbarians who are working towards that goal and who put in the work every single day. So shout out to you guys. All right, let's get into our live show schedule really quick. So we have our morning show, Coffee and Kata, Mondays and Wednesdays. Currently Mondays and Wednesdays right now. We took off Fridays because I have something to do. So it's at 7:15 a.m. And I'm always making adjustments to that. So even the Monday time might change at some point. But right now, Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:15 a.m. Sunday afternoons, we have our software explorations where we're doing Terraform, what we're doing right now. As I mentioned today, we're going to be reviewing some stuff from last week, and then we're going to get into Docker with AWS, Elastic Container Service, and Elastic Container Registry. So we're going to look into that. Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A sessions. So I find questions. I answer your questions in the chat. You can even call in if you want on Tuesdays. Whatever it is, I'm here to answer your questions. And then Thursday nights, we have more software explorations. We are currently working on automation on the Calculus Coder site. And, so we had a great session this past Thursday, where we were implementing the page object model. We got it done in Selenium, and then we started working on it in Playwright, and everything was working. So the next step is to get that working in Cypress, and then like thinking of different ways to do it, different adjustments to make. So it's very, very good stuff. So hopefully, if you're interested in automation, you are following along with that series and you're trying it out for yourself. And the reason that I did all three together is because to give you exposure to Selenium, to Playwright, and to Cypress in TypeScript, because if you're working in with web software, it's a good chance that you're going to be using like Node and things like that. So that's why I chose to go that route. And for me, it helps me because I'm not too familiar with TypeScript, with Playwright, or with Cypress, or with Selenium in JavaScript and TypeScript. So that was a good experience for me to figure things out. And hopefully, the way that I approach it, that gives you some insight and triggers some questions that you can always ask me. So that's what we do. All right. So one more time, the live show schedule. We have Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:15 a.m. The Coffee and Kata, working through Flutter mobile development. Sunday afternoons, we are working on software explorations with Terraform. Tuesday nights are Q&A sessions. And then Thursday nights, we have more software explorations where we're working on automation. All right. And then sometimes we do impromptu lives as necessary, but that is the main direction that we're working on. Now, next up, our pre-recorded content. Mondays, we have Candid Conversations. The Candid Conversation tomorrow is going to be a really tough one for me, and might be tough for a lot of people, but we're talking about we're talking about is it ever okay to pivot or adjust the goal? And or does that equate to quitting, right? So we're going to talk about that. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it as well. All right. And next up, we have Wednesdays. We have software explorations, concept and overviews. We've been working through the GRC framework. This coming Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the actual GRC framework and some of the benefits of it, some of the challenges of it, what exactly it is. So definitely you want to tune in for that, especially if you're into cybersecurity, but it goes way beyond cybersecurity as well. So I definitely would recommend that you tune into that. And then Fridays, we have the bug bite.
I appreciate you.
We have the bug bite on Fridays, right? So this Friday, we're going to be talking about a WordPress hack, a WordPress vulnerability, to put it in better terms, that is impacting some sites, right? And it can be a lot worse if you not get your plugins updated. So you always want to be aware of that. All right. So let me. Okay. So that is our live show schedule. That's our pre-recorded show schedule, right? I'm going crazy. Our pre-recorded show schedule, and then throughout the week we drop different shorts as well as clips from our Q&A show. So much content every single day, and trust me, you don't have to watch all of them, but you definitely want to tune in to the ones that are helping you advance in your career, whether it's in QA, whether in software engineering, whether it's in mindset, whether you're interested in cybersecurity or bugs, things like that, or you want to tune into the live stream. We can have conversation, we can have some fun, but we can also get work done. All right. So I'm always about getting work done. So let's go from there. Let me jump into this real quick, and then we're going to go to our next step. Let's see here. All right. Hold on. We will fix it on the fly. Not what I want to do. Always something coming up right in the middle of the stream, but we're gonna get it worked out, no doubt. Let's see. All right, and we go right here. All right, we should be good. So I want to waiting for it to load. All right, I want to give a big shout out to the man himself. Thank you for being our newest and latest subscriber. Welcome to the show. I really appreciate you for being here. All right, so let's continue. All right, next up. All right, so what we're gonna do, I want to pivot now to take a quick look at the intro from my conversation with Justin at the Test Lead. He is a SDET, a senior software development engineer in test. And we had a conversation the other day. He's been on YouTube for a while. And I want to give a big shout out to Justin for just crossing the 10,000 subscriber mark. That is no small feat to get to 10,000. So he puts out content, on the regular. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat to the video, and we're gonna watch the introduction together, and then you can go check out our conversation afterwards. All right. So let's get to it. All right, so that is my friend Justin, the test lead. All right, and let's just watch this together.
And that's one thing that I'm struggling with talking to people who are new to the field, because a lot of people, I don't know what ads they're seeing. They're like, oh, this is the easiest, quickest way to get rich.
You're gonna be one of those people who go for 6 months, a year, and not get anything because you're not bettering yourself.
Fix the little mistakes that cost a company thousands or millions of dollars.
with my coaching group, right? I'm building an actual app. You have the information, but right now it's really raw, and you need to structure it.
Mass layoffs come. Who are they gonna fire first? The people at the bottom who just have a very limited skill set.
Or they might go take a boot camp, but they don't connect with people who are actually working in the industry.
Hey, welcome back. For those who don't know you, introduce yourself, your channel.
All right, so that was the introduction to the show, to our conversation. Highly recommend you go watch it. I dropped a link in the chat for it. And yeah, so it was a great conversation. We touched on a lot of different topics, a lot of topics we didn't even get to, right? So in our next session, we're going to tackle some more. But highly recommend that you go out there and watch our conversation and leave us some feedback, and subscribe to Justin's channel as well. He gives some great information about resumes and automation, API testing, and it's just like our styles are different, but the content is pretty much the same. So whatever style works best for you, we concern ourselves with you getting the information and being able to digest it and do what you can do with it. All right, so check out that video after the stream, not during the stream, but after the stream. Go check out that video, and I'll post it again at the end of the show, and we'll go from there. So just wanted to share that with you. All right, so we have my co-host is here. Shout out to you, Mitch. Says, yo, what's going on, Mitch? Good to see you. Is this hat, first of all, is this hat acceptable, Mitch? Are you okay with me wearing this hat? Just want to know. And Mitch says he took a boot camp, right? I think I saw him. I don't know if because he's been doing this for a while. I don't know if he actually took a boot camp a long time. If he did, it was a long time ago. But yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm really not sure if he took a boot camp. I know he's spoken about boot camps in the past, but not sure. And Mitch says it's all good. That thank you. I appreciate it. Awesome. All right. So where are we now? We are going to get to work because it's already 3:00 over here, and I got things to do today. Today is Scrum night for my coaching group, introducing a new member to it. So we're gonna be busy later. So we're gonna do simple breaks today. We're just gonna go on read the chat during our breaks and go on LinkedIn or maybe Glassdoor, look for some jobs, see what's available out there in QA world, and we're gonna go from there, right? So let's get to it. And Mitch says, your memory is almost as good as mine. Yeah. Mitch, I hired an AI assistant to take notes when I have meetings with people, just so I can go back to the notes. So I don't have to write them myself, and I can just refer to the notes. It's okay. What were the things that we spoke about? And then we can go from there, because I don't be remembering. So yeah, anyways, it is what it is. So let's get our timer up, and let's see. We are gonna go to that bot back in. It says that's dope. I also wanted to mention the daily stand-ups with your wife is good. Appreciate it. Yep. Yeah. Maybe I'll talk about that in the break, because I mentioned it. I mentioned it yesterday, right? But maybe I can talk about that a little bit more in the break about that. But let's get to work, because the time is running. All right. So like I mentioned, what we're gonna do today. Let me start our first timer.
It's time to do.
So what we're going to do today, we're going to start looking at Terraform and looking at how to Dockerize or create Docker containers using Terraform, so that we can have another way of running applications via Docker and not necessarily through Elastic Beanstalk. And there was a show that we did a few months back where we're looking at AWS Fargate for serverless containers. So we're going to try to incorporate that. I was watching like from the course I was taking, which I've barely been using the course because I've just been figuring it out on my own. But from the course we were taking, I was looking at how they were talking about Docker and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, so I have an idea of what we're doing. So I'm going to try to see if we can use Fargate to actually no, before we do Fargate, we're going to have to see if we can create a Elastic container service, ECS, or no, an ECR, Elastic Container Registry, so we can have our Docker container up there, and then we can use Fargate to run an image, a container of that image, right? So, anyways, I did a Docker video back on Thanksgiving last year. You should definitely check that out. If you need some more information about Docker, as well as I did some software explorations on Docker itself, breaking it down. So if you're not familiar with Docker, it is one of the most useful tools you will use, especially as a software engineer and as a QA engineer. Images, containers, they're great. So they're one of the most helpful things I've come across. So you definitely want to go watch that video. Let me see. Let me get it and post it in the chat. And I'll probably put it in the description after the show as well. But let's see. This camera's acting up. Let's see here. All right. Docker. So I have this playlist for it. Just drop that in the chat. So I just dropped the chat of the playlist that I did on Docker, and hopefully like that should help you get a better understanding of like how Docker works, and then what we're doing here will make more sense. So you might have to come back and watch this video if you're not too familiar with Docker, right? So let's get to it. Let's see. So let's go to this screen. So here we're inside our AWS as usual. By the way, AWS, they got back to me and they're going to refund me this amount of money for the, where was it? Something blew up charges the other day. I don't know. But they're going to be refunding me the money for that Amazon Q issue from a while ago. So that was great. It took about a month for them to get back to me, but they got back to me. So everything is going to work out. All right. So let's find out what the ECR is, Elastic Container Registry. So Elastic Container. So I already have one over here. I already have one over here, right? A private repository, but I think I believe we created that manually, and we want to create that through through Terraform. So that's what we're going to be working on partially today. But first, let me go ahead and open up our software, our WebStorm, and I'm just going to review what we had, like how I ended up getting the domain name to work the other day. So we're gonna do git. Close all of these. All right, so we're gonna do git commit. Test. All right, so let's check out Terraform branch. And we can go, let me open the right file first. Then I'm going to switch to the other screen. All right, so let's go over to here, right? We were so I ended up commenting out these lines over here because I don't know why actually. It was causing an error when I was trying to make the update and it was causing it to fail. So I commented out and these values ended up changing inside of our configuration, but it's okay for now. And that's also partially why the new domain wasn't coming up. And just looking through here, so here's the old one, which you can probably get rid of this, but I won't do that today. So this is the new one. This is the new one. And we had to route it to the right location. And I also had to create a record for the www as well as without the www and route it to the same destination. This stayed the same. And the certificate that I had to create, that's the certificate, I had to also do it for both, right? For the www and so this is the old one for the www and the non-www. So here, okay, so this is what I did, right? So I said, the domain name is going to be the poopypants.app, but the alternative domain name is anything that comes in front of poopypants.app also uses that same certificate and that it's accepted. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what we did over here, did all the validation and got that to work. And then on the database side for Mongo, we went into here and we said the user and the IP that could access it, and what type of Atlas MongoDB we wanted. We wanted the serverless one on AWS, and that was it. So when we went to the software that we were using the other day, it was not it wasn't working for us when trying to connect. So I got a different software called MongoDB Compass, and I'll pull that up on the screen. And now that the MongoDB is set up, all we need to do is plug in plug that information for that database into whatever application that we're using. So we are good to go on the Mongo side of it. We just need to make sure that our application is going to be utilizing it correctly. But from the Terraform perspective, it's already set up. Let's see, where is the software? So what I'm going to do while we get this application started, I am going to start creating a new directory inside of Terraform. And we're going to call that Docker. Well, if the Mongo software ever shows up, then we'll worry about that. But actually, no, I'm just going to close it because it's not showing up But we did connect to it last time, so we don't have to worry about that. Let's continue with the Docker. All right, so we are in here, and we're going to name a folder, or we're going to create a new file. We're going to call it ecr.plan dot actually, yeah, we can do that. .tf. Let's add that, and let's start doing some research. What I'm looking for is the Terraform AWS ECR. I just did a search for Terraform ECR, and let's take a look at the first one that comes up, which is the Terraform documentation, which I always like to use their documentation first, and then if we need some additional help, then we start looking at other resources. But that's always the one that I like to go to first. So we have resource AWS CC ECR repository and this, and then you give it the repository a name. And we are going to give it some tags. ECR repository with lifecycle policy to create ECR policy with lifecycle policy that expires. All right. All right, let's get started. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we are going to also need a. I wonder if I should do it in here. Because I have to do it in another folder. Yeah, we can do that. So let's go ahead and we're going to start off with, let's do another, let's say, a new file. And we shall name that Docker provider. Or say Terraform Docker provider.tf. And honestly, it's just going to be the same. Make sure there's no sensitive data in here, but it should be the same as this one. So if we copy that, and this should be provider. So actually, hold on. Should be using the AWS one. Let's copy this. And we shall go to, we're using it on AWS. So then we're going to have to create a TF vars file with the access key and the variable. So let's go to new file. Terraform docker.tf vars. Let's see if we can use that name. I don't know if we can use that name, but let's find out. So it's going to be variable. Close that. So we're going to have access key. See how that's done. A lot of stuff you don't just remember until you do it for a bunch of times. Okay, so it's just gonna be the name. All right, so we're gonna go back over here, and we're gonna do access key. Let's go with 1, 2, 3 for now. Unless the name has to be Terra. All right, so access key, and then we're gonna go with secret key. AWS region. All right, I don't know why this is telling me that. Oh, I know. It's probably because we haven't done a Terraform in it yet, but cool. All right, so we're here. We got, let's do a, let's say we do a Terraform init to initialize our Terraform repo. This is the one we're going to use specifically for Docker. Gonna have to add some stuff to the gonna have to add some stuff to the git ignore file so it doesn't try to put a bunch of stuff in there. But that'll be fine. All right, so we have this initialized, and are we still having errors here? Why are we having errors here? Oh, hold on 1 second. Ah, okay. So we need to create this variable file, and then it'll reference the variables in the Terraform tf vars file. So new file, and that's going to be
Lunch break! Lunch break!
let's get these variables added real quick. So variable, and that's going to be okay. So that's going to be type is a string, description be AWS key. right? And then the last one is going to be and type of that is also going to be a string. Oops, variable. So now that should fix our errors that were in here. Oh, all right. So we have our variables set up. They are we have some dummy data in here, and we have this is database one. If we go to our plan, that's where we'll pick up where we're going to start implementing our AWS Elasticsearch registry. All right. All right. So we are on break real quick. I'm gonna go get something to drink real quick, and then we're going to review some jobs on Glassdoor. Let me put up Glassdoor already. Make sure I'm logged in. All right, so I'm going to be back in like 2 minutes. Just got to get something to drink, and then we will continue working. All right, so let me do that. All right, I'm back. So before before I do that, I just want to say a big thank you to one of my friends that I train with for giving me tickets to the Panthers game last night. I was hanging out at the Panthers game last night, me and my wife, and it was a great time. Panthers lost, but it was a great time that we had. Thanks to my good friend Zach for getting us those tickets. So just wanted to always show thankfulness and gratefulness to the people who who help you out and that you help out as well. It's we just work together and we make things more positive. So I did not get Dr. Pepper. I got I had a energy drink that kind of got frozen and stuff in the fridge. So I just got the unfrozen. It's a mess. But I got more energy drink and I should be weaning off of it this coming week. Last week that I should be needing it and we can go from there. But yes, you called me out, Mitch. Mitch is always calling me out.
They ain't believing us.
Anyways, all right, let's put 5 minutes on the clock and we're going to go on Glassdoor because I normally go on LinkedIn a lot, but let's look on Glassdoor. Let's just see what's out there. Let's go to, we have a 5 minutes up. We're gonna go to do tell, what was this project on Red Bull about, Mitch? What did you find out about Red Bull? I'm curious to know. A project on Red Bull. You gotta tell me about that. All right. So while we are waiting for Mitch to enlighten us about his project in high school. By the way, Mitch, how long ago was high school? Just curious. All right. So so quality assurance engineer, customer facing in Arlington, Virginia. This is at Intrafy. Let me see, show more. So they have a hybrid work environment, flexible telework remote schedule, along with robust benefits and career growth opportunities. Our efforts to create and maintain a culture that values our people have. All right, cool. Fintech, so financial industry. What is the role? Would be an integral member of our IT team, collaborating with the developers, product owners, and other stakeholders to ensure that quality is built into the software and services Intrafy provides. You will work as a key member of cross-functional agile scrum teams in-house and offshore to ensure quality is achieved at all stages of the development process, from defining requirements through code deployment. All right, cool. So you will be developing and executing test plans to ensure that all software products and services meet or exceed customer expectations, estimating, prioritizing, planning, and coordinating testing activities. So regular QA stuff, working with offshore teams to ensure testing is complete on time and to the highest quality standards. So here's the thing I'm going to let you know, right? If you work for a company who offshores like lower level QA, maybe some manual testers and stuff like that, the jobs that are in the US, I repeat, the jobs that are in the US, you're going to be doing automation, you're going to be responsible for testing, right? And you'll also be responsible for making sure that the offshore team is also doing what they're supposed to do. So you're not a QA manager, but you are running the QA to make sure the offshore lower level QAs are doing what they're supposed to do. And that's part of being a QA engineer, whether you're senior, regular QA engineer. That's part of the process if you have offshore, like if you have like offshore testers as well. Conducting estimating, prioritizing, working with offshore teams, conducting API testing to ensure that our APIs are functional, reliable, and secure, which yesterday in one of my coaching calls, I was taking one of the people that I got, one of my barbarians that I got connected with a startup who needed some testing. We were talking about API testing and going through like how do you properly approach API testing, which in the next few weeks, we're going to be like, once we finish with the Freemind recovery automation, we're going to be moving into API testing and how you can learn API testing, different resources so of APIs you can interact with, the different approaches and how to write tests. So we're going to just do comprehensively API testing. So stick around for that in the coming few weeks. Look at good guy. Good guy. The guy's like, yeah, he's been waiting for that. So we're gonna get into that. All right. So shout out to you, good guy, as always.
Good guy.
Every time good guy comes up, we get a
Good guy.
all right. So let's continue. So developing and executing database queries to ensure data integrity and accuracy. Let's see. What qualifications? Strong, demonstrated knowledge of software quality assurance. Minimum of 5 years working in Agile. Let's see. Exceptional oral and written communication. Automated testing tools, so Selenium, Groovy, Cucumber, JavaScript, WebDriver IO, and experience in API testing tools like Postman, SOAP UI, Rest Assured. So it sounds like this company is
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
So the interesting thing about this job posting, right, is that the experience in the testing frameworks, so Selenium, which is like multi-language, Cucumber is more of a Java tool and probably C# as well, but they have different versions of it. So you can do it through Chai in JavaScript and Node. You can do Behave in Python, but mentioning WebDriver IO sounds more like, and Java, so it sounds like they work more in JavaScript. But Rest Assured is a Java library. Maybe they might have it in C# as well. I don't know. But familiar with Java, Python, JavaScript, and Angular. These two go together. These two are in comparison, but not necessarily like the JavaScript. So this is an interesting thing. Solid knowledge of SQL and experience using relational databases like as Oracle and Postgres. SQL knowledge is super, super important. So we'll probably get into SQL at some point as well. But APIs, SQL, whether you're doing the relational databases or you're doing the NoSQL, which is for non-relational databases, is very, very important. Now, if there's anyone in the chat or who's watching who has been through a boot camp, I know they touch on SQL in the boot camps, but what about CI/CD? What about Jenkins? What about TeamCity? What about Circle CI? Do they touch on that in boot camps? Do they even touch on that in like the Udemy courses? The good thing about Udemy courses is that you can go and, like, let's say you finish an automation course or whatever, you can go and set up Jenkins or get a course for Jenkins or TeamCity, right? Application monitoring tools like Splunk. Remember, we've spoken about we did Grafana, which is a open source software, but it can pretty much do the same thing as Splunk, right? We did so do they talk about Atlassian, Jira, Bitbucket, Confluence, right? So those are the tools that are missing. When I spoke to my friend who is a recruiter, that is part of what's missing in, like, when you guys get out of your online courses or your boot camps and stuff like that. These are the skills right here. These skills, right? That's what's holding you back. Not necessarily the SQL, because you have some SQL knowledge, but the like monitoring applications, how to read logs, how to use CI/CD tools, Atlassian, like how Jira, Scrum, Agile, those things is what you're going to be getting into. And if you don't have a proper understanding of that, that's going to be a challenge for you when you're trying to land that job. If it's not even on your resume, then they're going to just pass it by. Excellent analytical skills, problem solving skills, and guess what? When these are on the You see this here? How do you incorporate that in your resume? Do you just say like as a skill in the bullet points, excellent analytical skills, troubleshooting, and problem solving skills? That's not going to work on your resume because that's just a bullet point. But what I try to tell you on your resumes is you have to articulate in your description of a prior job that you had. You have to describe problems that you solved, things that you troubleshooted, how you use those analytical skills. You can't just say excellent analytical skills, troubleshooting, and problem solving skills. You have to articulate how you did that so that, it's building a resume is an art. Building a resume is an art. So excellent organizational skills, strong attention to detail, able to multitask, willingness to provide on-call production support outside of regular business hours. Do you see this line right here? Can I zoom in some more? This whole thing, it's a mess. Oh, all right. So try to zoom in, but it's not going to work. But willingness to provide on-call production support outside of regular business hours. Are you willing to do this? I know some people who want to transition into tech because they think it's just, I'm just going to work from, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever. But I'm on call sometimes. The engineers are on call. Like everyone, there's even people at a high level that are on call. And you might get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning that something's not working. And you got to figure it out, right? So here, now we have bachelor's degree or master's degree in computer science, engineering, or related subject preferred. And in fine print, so I'm gonna do something here for you. I'm gonna help you guys all out, right? I'm gonna help you guys all out. So we're going to just add in this bullet point. I'm gonna help you guys out because I care for you. So we're just gonna say for a and we go back down over here. See, cool. There you go. Mitch, how do you like that? How do you like that, Mitch? Or related subject or boot camp because people, they insist on the boot camp. So we just say or a boot camp. All right. And excellent experience with Amazon Web Services is a plus. AWS. Experience working with offshore teams is also a plus. The pay is from $124,000 a year. So, it is what it is. All right. And they have like some pretty decent benefits, pretty standard, but if any, so experience 3 years of SQL, test automation, only 1 year of test automation. That's pretty cool. Ability to commute to Arlington, Virginia, work location, hybrid remote in Arlington, Virginia. So being that it's in Virginia, I'm surprised that it doesn't ask for security clearances, but this looks like it's more of a financial industry, but just like things in Virginia, they normally ask for some type of clearance. But what I'm going to do, I am just going to take this link if I can and drop it in the chat for anyone who thinks that they would be qualified for this position. It's funny how they put the pay all the way down to the dollar amount, but where can I find this link? Let's see. Am I able to find this link? Yeah. Let's see if we can. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see if this works. I don't know. I'm going to try to drop the link in the chat. Actually, let me try. I think this is a really nice job posting, to be honest with you. But nope, that didn't work. Let's try. Does that work? Yeah. All right, cool. Let me post that in the link in the chat. All right. So let's go back to full screen before we get back to work. Full screen. Did we just get? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Oh my goodness. Welcome to let's do that. Let's run it back. All right.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, Changes 35. I really appreciate you for being here. Yeah, so that's a pretty good job to I mean, I like that job description. It looks really, really good. But it's, 5 years of experience. So if you've been working 5 years working in an agile software development environment. Oh, you see? Let's take a look. See, this is a better view, right? But like I was saying, 5 years minimum experience working in an agile software development environment. You have to learn about agile if you want to get into this industry. 99% of companies are going to be using agile, all right? So just sharing that with you. All right, let's get back to full screen. And let's take a look at the chat, and then we're going to get back to work. So let's see. Mitch says, it says, definitely can't say analytical skill. I have strong analytical skills. Well, how do we know? Because I said I do, right? And I'm working from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 2 hours. Hey, that's the life. That's the life. Then I'm out. I'm out. You know what? When I grow up, I want to be like Mitch. And Mitch says high school was 18 years ago. Mitch, you're pretty young, Mitch. Come on, that's fairly young, I must say. And I hate when it says remote, but you have to live in the area. Well, you're remote-ish, right? You're remote-ish, so makes sense. All right, let's get back to it. We're gonna get back into our Terraform stuff. But like I said, I put the link in the job. I put the link in the description in the chat. Even if you're not gonna apply for it, I would highly recommend that you go and click on the link and click on and look at the job description to see, compare where you're at and the type of things, the type of skills that are being required. And then that's how I handle the coaching, right? I say, right, what job do you want? How much money do you want to make? Where are you at? And let's make a plan to get you there, right? So, very, very basic, very straightforward, very rational, All right, you're going to put another 20 minutes on the clock.
Let's go! Let's go!
No, I'm joking, man. Not, come on, Mitch. We know you are not joking, Mitch. I'm just kidding. We know you work all hours. So let's get to back over here.
I appreciate you.
Well, welcome again, Changes. I appreciate you again for signing up. All right, let's get to it. All right, so we have initialized. We are going to get started. I have the documentation for the ECS or for the ECR over here. And I'm just gonna be looking back and forth so we can get it done. All right, so we're gonna say the resource that we're creating is going to be AWS CC, and then it should be ECR repository. Why didn't it show up? Is there a typo? Okay, so there must be a typo on their website because over here it says AWS CC ECR repository, but over here it does not. So I don't know. We'll just go with the one that is suggested to us, and we're gonna call that PPQ or let's call it Poopy Hats app. All right. Open that up, and we're going to add the default. Is it just name that it requires? Okay, so we're going to put a name of it is going to be, or let's say, I'm gonna go with the naming convention of underscore. And the name of this is going to be and let's do tags, and we're going to say what type do we normally put for stuff? Let me see. When we do Terraform stuff, we would go to, let me look at this Terraform plan that we've been working on, tags, environment. All right, so we'll do, let's do environment, I guess. All right. So let's see if this is enough to get something created. And then, because I don't want to write a bunch of code and then things don't work right. So let's do it like that. And I need to go get the keys. So go get my secrets. Best way to do that. All right, go to full screen. And we're gonna do it on this one. All right, so we got the keys. And we have it inside of our TF, our Terraform TF vars file. And let's go back to share the screen. We don't need this file open anymore. So now if we were to do a Terraform plan, it should tell us that it would be creating a, it says that it's going to be, all right, so AWS region. Oh. Let's see, variables, region. All right, hold on. So we're gonna go, or no, we're just gonna do it this way. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna rename that to just AWS region. All right, so let's go ahead and try that again. All right. Let's go to Let's try that again. If we try Terraform plan, hopefully it's not like, oh my god. Okay, so whenever you stop, like you control C a Terraform, and it gets annoying like with this lock thing. There's a way to get around it, but whatever. So this is going to create the name. Let me make sure it's not the same name that I already have in here, because that'll be a little bit confusing if we do that. I do have it as the same name, so I'm gonna rename that to let's call that TF. Right. So if we do another plan, it will name it, and we can do an output, so we can get the name or get the path of our the URL for our registry, right? So we'll call that ECR registry. So we want to output the registry ID, and that value is going to be the aws.ecr.ecr registry ID, right? So that's how we're getting the registry ID. And we want to also get the output for ppq ECR repository URL. And that output is going to be the AWS ECR.ECR.repository URL. I think that's good for now, right? Because we can always make changes to this, but we just want to see if it's going to get created. If we get it created, that's the first step, and then we can go from there. All right. So let's do Terraform apply. We're getting errors. Oh, stupid lock thing. Let's do a quick search on how to terminate this. We had this issue a while ago, but I don't remember how we had resolved it, if we had to delete a file. So let's go. So Terraform acquiring the state lock. This is error when Terraform. Okay, so let's try that. So we're going to, we're going to run this command right here, force unlock, and we're going to pass the ID. So let's try that. So we're going to take this ID. And we're going to go here. We're going to say Terraform force unlock, pass the ID. Local state cannot be unlocked by another process. What? Let's see. If you're not sure if there's another process running, I'm not waiting an hour. So let's add this to it where it says we can do the force. Oops. Locks, local state not locked. All right, well, maybe it's not locked anymore. Let's see if we can do a Terraform plan. without the lock false. This is retarded. I mean, come on. Terraform force unlock dash force the ID. Whatever. We'll just use this thing. Dash lock equals false. So now we're going to see if this actually creates a yes. It's going to create the, all right, so it says one resource added. So now if we go back over to our other screen, we should see a new repository. There we go. And here, so there goes our repository created March 17th, 1603 UTC. And we go to, UTC -4, all right. And we go over to here. We have our registry ID as well as our repository URL, which is the id.dkr.ecr US East 1, Amazon, AWS.com, and then the name of the application. Let's see. So if we were to go over here and we click into this, there's no images yet, right? Fair enough. No images yet. Cool. So now let's go back to over here, and we are going to do we're going to add now the we're going to add the image tag mutability. What does that mean though? All right, so let's do a quick search. AWS, what is, or ECR, what is image tag mutability? You can use the AWS, what is tag mutability enables users can rely on the descriptive tags of an image as a mechanism to track uniquely identify images. Let's see what AWS says about it. You can configure a repository to turn on tag immutability to prevent images from being overridden. After the repository is configured for immutable tags, the image tag already exists. Errors is returned if you attempt to push an image with a tag that already in the repository. When tag immutability is turned on for a repository, it affects all tags, and you cannot make some tags immutable while others aren't. Okay, so let's go in here. Let's turn it on, just to mess with it. We're going to say here, image tag immutability, and we're going to say that is no quotes here, image tag immutability, and we're going to say that is going to be true, maybe, or it's going to be mutable, not true, but mutable. Is there options for this? All right, and we can also do the image scanning configuration. Scan on push. False. Okay, so let's see what that scan on push means. So it just means the image is scanned for known vulnerabilities after being pushed. Let me see if there's a charge for that. AWS ECR image scanning configuration cost. Well, that's not the question. All right, we'll leave that for false now. Actually, no. For cybersecurity reasons, we should put that to true. Right. So, just to be secure, we're gonna leave that as true. And now we're gonna do our Terraform apply. See if you're still locked. Still locked. All right. Terraform apply dash lock equals false. And we're gonna say yes to make this change. So before we do that, let's go over and look at our here, right? Let's see. We go here and share the screen. And we go to here. We can go to summary. And right now, so it is mutable. And we have scan frequency manual. So if we were to go to scanning configuration, it's not checked for scan on push. So let's go ahead and let's make our changes here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if anything gets changed. Or let me see. Scanning. Scan on push our repositories. All right, let's run it. See what happens. Or maybe by default it's true. I don't know. Or no, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see. All right, so that one change is made. Oh, so I did the Terraform apply over here. So that one change is made. Let's go over here and let's see if anything changed over here. Let's see.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
Where would we see that? All right, so you see a change here. Scan on push. Oh, cool. Tag immutability. This is disabled. All right, cool. Let's see. So pretty much this is working as is. And that's pretty much it for the ECR portion of it, because after that, you're going to have to build an image locally, and then you're gonna have to push it up to Terraform, not Terraform, but to the registry, which we can get into that next. But let's take a look at these quick settings. We have image scan on configuration, scanning the repository for vulnerabilities, the tag immutability, lifecycle policy, property types specifies a lifecycle policy. All right, repository name, the name you'd like to use for the repository. Should be specified on its own. Interesting. If you don't specify a name, AWS CloudFormation generates a unique physical ID and uses that ID for the repository name. Interesting. So okay, we can look at maybe that's interesting. Repository policy text, the JSON repository policy to apply to the repository. Read only, ARN, ID, repository URI. Okay. All right, cool. So, and there's an actual import for it as well. Interesting. All right. So, with that being said, I like that they gave the import command too. Uh, cool. All right. Let's go to break, and then we'll come back and we'll try to push up a Docker image. We'll build an image and try to push that up. See what we can get. All right. All right. Cool. Let's get to it. So let's put our 5 minutes up. Mitch says, "What are your thoughts on the tech industry as a whole?" I mean, as a whole is so hard to say because there's so many different aspects of the tech industry, right? So, all right, so here's a question. Would you consider the like online courses, like let's say Udemy, or things that are training people to get into the tech industry, would you consider that as part of the tech industry? Or are you referring to only people who are like working in the tech industry, or the people who are training people to get in the tech industry? Would you consider those people as are also part of the tech industry? So that's what I mean by it's hard to say. But let's start. I can start. I can start off with people who are in the tech industry, right? Which is also hard to answer because it's so massive. Because there's cybersecurity, for example, where they have their own total domain, and there's so many different positions within cybersecurity, right? Pluto, he is an like he's a SOC analyst, right? But then you can have somebody who is a identity and access management engineer who is like configuring giving access to giving access versus not giving access and authorization and stuff like that. You can have the cloud security engineers. You can have those who review logs and stuff like that. So it's hard to say based on because then QA is a totally different field. Software engineering is a totally different field. So it says I guess I would have to go by title based department, etc. Yeah, but I mean the tech industry as a whole, though. I mean it's it's just the tech industry. It's just like I mean it's just a tech industry. You it's it's how do you make it work for you? Because a lot of people they want to be in the tech industry, but they don't know what it takes, right? It's a lot of hard work, and yes, there's times like where you have fun in there and stuff like that too. But if you don't produce whatever it is that you produce, then you're not going to be useful in the tech industry. And I think part of the problem with the tech industry, right, is those day in the life videos, those day in the life videos that make it seem like, oh, I go and I get a latte, and then I work for like as you're joking with, like I work for 2 hours, and then I go and then like pretty much people are telling on themselves, right? And it might not even be true, but because of people getting like sponsors and stuff like that, it gives a fake view of what it's really like. There are some times that we're working till late because we're trying to figure something out. There's been like in previous companies, I've worked like not something that was common, but I worked, you know, 24 hours because we were trying to get something done, and we were in the office for overnight trying to accomplish a certain objective. And then another company, we had like a night shift because we had to support our customers in another like a new product that we were building. We had to support our customers who were getting it installed and trying to use it with their customers. So it just depends on the actual role. And for me, I love the tech industry, but if you don't know what you're getting into, and if you don't have that mindset and that desire to win, and you're just approaching it as, I'm just going to get in there to make a bunch of money, and then to get in there, make a bunch of money, and I don't have to actually earn it or work for it, then you're going to be sadly mistaken, and then that's when you actually get discouraged, face burnout, and then you want to quit, right? So that's that's how I see it. Um, yeah, and you did kind of stump me there because it's such a broad question, you know. And yeah, all you do is go to the gym and Starbucks. I mean, pretty much, you know. And some of those cyber people work all nighters. The stuff the internet doesn't tell you about all day. Exactly, you know. And some people they enjoy it because it's like challenging. I like challenges, so I don't mind it. But if you approach it
Get a move
with
on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
if you approach it with like you're just getting in there because somebody told you that if you get this job you can go and make $400,000. There is like you're not gonna get paid $400,000 to do nothing. I mean, so simple as that. You're not gonna get that type of money to do nothing. So let me put another 5 minutes on the clock because I do want to review a job. It says if you come looking for a 150 plus. I mean, I know a lawyer in Atlanta who was getting paid $250 an hour to do nothing. So I mean, I guess it is possible. So don't mind me. All right, let's. Where's my glass door? Hmm, Let's see here. Let's look for. Let's look for. I don't want to do video game tester. Let's look at this one. This one is local to South Florida. It is a QA engineer 3 at Space Coast Credit Union. So, I mean, this is a practical job, local to South Florida. Let's see what it's about, right? Space Coast Credit Union. There's actually one that's right next to where I live. Third largest credit union in Florida is looking for a quality assurance engineer level 3 to join our one SCCU or one. I don't know what one stands for, but the Space Coast Credit Union team at our Miramar Operations Center. SCCU has been in business for over 70 years, has $8 billion in assets. We are growing. Our members are top priority, and we stand behind our brand promise: honest people, trusted products, time value. So, I mean, I know a friend of mine is looking for a job. I might have to send this over their way. This is a temp to perm position in Miramar, Florida. Annual bonus available. Hybrid work options. Work from home up to 3 days a week. That's pretty cool. Flexible schedule options. Medical, dental, vision. HSA savings account. Okay, all that good stuff, right? So let's see. What work are you actually gonna do? So starting salary 95 to 102. Not bad. 50% test lead for small groups of QA engineers. That's pretty good. Review requirements. Specialization in technical design documents. Okay. Create detailed, comprehensive, well-structured test plans. Estimate, prioritize, plan, coordinate. Design, develop, execute automation scripts using open source tools. And I tell you, I can't tell you how many times I tell people like learn automation, and they don't. And then now all the jobs that we find that like to get that pay this much, right? That pay this much and higher, you're gonna need to do automation. So, perform, identify, record, document thoroughly, and track bugs. Perform thorough regression testing when bugs are resolved. Liaise with BAs, developers, and product managers. Proven work experience in software development and software quality assurance. Let's see, 1 to 2 years test lead experience. Experience with performance and/or is a plus. Experience with working in an agile. I always see another one. Agile. Solid knowledge of SQL and scripting. Hands-on experience with automation testing tools. Hands-on experience with both white box and black box testing. Standard work hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 to 8 years of experience in software quality assurance and testing required every single job, right? Even the small local job, which I'll tell you this, I don't think there's that many people who qualify for this in South Florida, but we might. Who knows? But I'm gonna send that over to my friend after this stream, so save that. But yeah, so I mean, this is another good job, good paying. Like, I mean, it's hard to say that it's good paying, especially with inflation and stuff like that. But that's a pretty decent salary for a QA engineer in South Florida. And you get a loan discount, so a mortgage or a second mortgage, auto, motorcycle, boat, gap coverage at half price. Uh, Interesting. Okay, and then fixed low rate credit card, 5.99. So 5.99% for a credit card if approved. Free identity theft, no fees at SCCU. Tuition and reimbursement. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Anyways, let's go back. Pretty cool job. If you are local to South Florida, that is. Like the other one was local to Virginia. Let's see. Do we have any more chats before we get back to it? It says, I mean, it's possible, but the
Get a
newer
move
people.
on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
So it says it's possible, but the newer people are trying to break into and looking for it. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not saying it's not possible, right? I'm just saying, yeah, and you're right. Like they're trying, like on their first job. My first job, like when I was working in tech support, I started at I was making like $12 an hour, and I just built from there, But when you don't have any experience, like I can understand, like if they're asking for a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, and you have that, then you have something you're bringing to the table. Even though don't get me wrong, your bachelor's degree and your master's degree, it does not prepare you for quality assurance. It barely prepares you for software engineering. There's a lot of work that you have to do outside the fact. However, it does give you that entry level position opportunity where you can build upon that. So that's the only thing that I'm saying. But if you can meet, the closer you get to the qualifications in the resume, the better your chances are. So that's the point that I'm saying. So like even if you get some type of degree in because I would say even if you get a degree like a bachelor's degree or something like that, doing a boot camp is still helpful to get like the knowledge for the specific knowledge that you need. But then you still need to go and learn agile and stuff like that. So there's a lot of work that you have to do. It's not just I'm gonna get a degree or I'm just gonna go and do this boot camp and now the world should be my oyster. No, there's a lot of work that you have to do. All right. So we're gonna do one more segment and then we're gonna wrap it up for today. We'll check that one later. Okay, so we will. What am I gonna do? So we're gonna put up another 20.
It's time to do.
And I'm gonna have to update this branch where you guys can follow me along. I gotta fix this camera. I hate when it freezes. GitHub. I don't think it's the camera. I think it's OBS that freezes. Or freezes the camera. Let's go to GitHub. And QA3 is not the highest level. I mean, so it can go like this, right? Back in the days, there used to be like a position for QA analyst or QA tester. That position has kind of been replaced by a position called QA specialist. And then you'll have like a QA level 1, level 2. Some places might stop at level 3 or they might have a level 3. But after that, after the levels, then you're going to have like a senior QA engineer. Then you can have a lead QA engineer. Then you could have either a principal QA engineer or a lead senior, something like that. It depends on the company. And then I think the last step would be like a staff QA engineer, and that is on the individual contributor route. And then like if you want to go into management, you can have like a QA manager. You can have a senior QA manager. Then you can go get into like director stuff like that. So I mean, once it gets to director, after director, it's probably like VPs and stuff like that, which that might be your limit at director, or at like senior manager. It just depends. But yeah, so that's pretty much how the QA structure goes. After like the numbers, it goes to like senior, lead, etc. All right. Let me see. So what for? Let me see if I can do this. Terraform set. Mm, oh, that should. Okay, so thought I was gonna have to update the branch in GitHub, but apparently I don't. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go back to. We're gonna go back to here, and we're gonna have to build a Docker image, right? So we have a Docker file over here, and we're not gonna go into all the details of it, but this is pretty much building a Docker file that we're going to use to install the we're going to use that to install or to build the image, right? Once we build the image, we're going to push that up to ECR. And for that part, let's, cause I've done it before, but I don't remember all the details that I did. So we're going to look for we're going to just do a quick search on, mm, I'm going to search for Docker push to ECR. Every time I type the thing starts to freeze. All right, so pushing a Docker image to ECR. I think we can use free code camp. Let's go here, right? So how to build and push Docker image to ECR. We're gonna do Docker is a. All right, so we got that. It's pretty funny. Docker was created to solve this very problem. It works on my machine. Well, we'll ship your machine, and that's how Docker was born. So we don't have the problem if it works on my machine. We're just gonna ship the whole machine. All right. So in this article, we'll talk about this. So we don't need to do this. So we don't need to do this part. And I'll drop this link in the chat for you as well. That free code camp. In case you want to do this. So, but we're not going to go into setting up and configuring Docker because we already have that. We already have a Docker added to our project. How to install and configure it. We already have that. So we're pretty much going to do how to use AWS ECR to host a Docker image in a remote location. So we have that. We have that. We have that. We have that for the most part. All right, we have that as well. Let's go some more. We have this Docker set up. We have the Docker login done. Docker. All right. So this is pretty much what we did. Right. We compare this. So we got that part. All right. So I'm not even going to switch screens because we have that part. Before understanding these instructions, create a docker.ignore file and add node modules. It works the same. All right. We got that already as well. Do we have a Docker ignore? Let me see. Make sure we have a Docker ignore file. Should have a Docker ignore file. Oh yeah, we do. Yep. So just quick look. We have a Docker ignore file that's ignoring all of these folders. We never want to add the node modules to it. Let's go back. And we have from sets the, and we did this in the Docker series, but we're just gonna take a quick look through it. From sets the base image, work directory, add source code from current directory, copy files and folders from source and destination. Executes the given command, copy, sets an environment variable for the Docker container. Let me see if we have that too. Okay. Exposes when we are running this container, we want to listen our app on a particular port. All right, so here we are, right? We are going to do the Docker build command and the tag name. The second argument is the location of the Docker file. When you run the command, you will see the steps are being executed in the same order as they are written in the Docker file. Once done, it will prompt successfully built in the base ID. You can use the base ID to access the particular Docker image instead of using its tag name. You can verify by, all right, so you can verify this by looking at the images in the Docker app. Also, you can see the local container and containers from the time being. Let's run our Docker image, right? And I don't really care about running the Docker image. I mostly care about getting it pushed up to the ECS. So I might just skip this step anyways. Port forwarding. If you run the above command without -p 33,000 to 3,000, you won't see anything on port 3000. This is because even if we have exposed port 3000 in Docker, if we have not made it, okay, so that's fine. So we like if we want it to be public, we have to make it 80 on our thing. Visit localhost 3000 in your browser. So we have that. All right, so let's do this part. Let's do this part right here. We're going to build our Docker. All right, so I'm gonna go back over here and I'm gonna open up a new tab. I'm gonna do, and I'm actually working on getting a Docker Compose file, but that's another stream. Right now we're just doing this so we can get to the Terraform. All right, so we're gonna name this. We're gonna name this tag. Let's see. Have a name in here. Let me see. What is the name tag supposed to be? Remember, you can also use base ID instead of name tag. So let's just call this, well, oh, crap, I gotta start Docker before I can even do this. So let's start Docker. Slow down the computer even more, but we have to start Docker so we can do the build. If we don't have Docker started, then we're not gonna be able to do the build. We're about to get an error, so, but in the meantime, while it's starting, let's go and name this. Okay. Docker desktop is almost started. All right, Docker's up and running. Make sure I have not using the same name over again. All right, cool, should be good. Oh, okay, so, and then we can put the dot for where the Docker file is located. And now it's building our Docker file. And I mean, I guess that we can start it just so you can see it working. You're not going to see any quotes in it because I'm not going to pass the variable to get the quotes in it at this moment. And it can take some time to build that Docker image because it's pretty much installing it on a, like if you're familiar in, so think about it like this. When you have an iPhone upgrade and it's going to install those updates, a lot of times it just doesn't, it takes that image and it places it on top of, like, it overwrites the existing image. Um, and that's pretty much what the Docker images do. It's like if you work at a company and you guys and everyone gets a computer, the IT team, they're going to take an image of that computer, so an image of like all the tools that are needed to work at the company. They're just going to install that image on everyone's computers, so they don't have to go back and install all of these softwares over and over and over and over again on a bunch of computers. You just have one image and everything is installed that way. So, and that's what Docker's.
Appreciate you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy to have you here as always. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you for being here. Shout out to you. All right. So it's running the install. So right now it's installing the it's installing the node modules. When you see that npm install, maybe am I blocking it? Now you can see it. It's installing the node modules that it's going to need to and you see, like, so this image itself is like 2.41 gigabytes, right? Takes up space. So Docker images do take up space. So that's why I'm gonna delete it after I'm done with this, because I'm always fighting for disk space. But it's going to, so it's doing its thing. So exporting to image, and it's exporting the different layers of this. All right. So the next step is we're going to push that up. Or we're going to run it so you can see it's actually running, and then we're going to push that up to ECS. And this free code camp tutorial is really, really good because it takes you through all the details of doing this. But we only need like 2 steps. We need to build the Docker image, and then we need to push it up to ECS. All right, so let's do this real quick, just so you can see it. We're going to do Docker run on port 30,000, and also say port 3000, and the name that we said was and I'm also going to pass in this parameter. I'm actually going to pass 2 parameters. I'm going to do D for detached, and then N, or I think that's just for name. We're going to call that PPQ PP quotes. Whatever, it's fine. What happened? What happened with this? Oh, okay. Says I made a typo. I made a boo-boo. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move this over here, -D. And let's see. All right, so it's started our application on port 3000. So if we were to go to, so this, like, the -D means it's detached, so you can still use your command line. And this is going to be the name of the container, and this is the name of the image that we're starting up. So if we were to go to another browser, and we go to localhost 3000, and we have it come up. This is older, like this branch is older, and I mean, there's nothing going to be loading because I didn't pass the. Oh, actually, it did. So I don't know. Maybe it's built in, but or maybe it's just an older image that's doing it. So I don't know. But this is what it is. All right. So localhost 3000, our container is built. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna go to back over here, and we are gonna say, I don't have to stop. Actually, I'm gonna stop it. So docker stop pp quotes, and that's gonna shut down our container that is running the application. All right. So next up on our here, we are going to scroll down a bit. So this part we already did through Terraform, so we don't have to do this through the CLI. Here we're gonna have to get the login for our so every piece has been every piece has been individually created so far. How do I choose the all right, so for Docker to push the image to ECR, we first have to authenticate our Docker credentials with AWS. We use the get login command that retrieves and displays an authenticated token using get authorization token API that we use to authenticate to Amazon ECR, right? But my question is, how does it know which one? All right, so well, let's try it. I'm not gonna do the password part on screen because I'm not sure what password it's gonna give me yet. So I'm just gonna type it in right now. Well, I'll show you me typing it in at least. Get login password, region.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
All right, so we're just gonna wrap this part up and then we'll end the show. But let's say US East 1. Right, so I'm going to let's go to full screen real quick. And let's see what happens. We got this long password. So now I'm gonna do this part to log into Docker with that long password and the repository URI. AWS ECR region US East 1 Docker login -u AWS -p. We're gonna put that long password. And we're gonna put that long password in. And now we need the repository URI, which we're gonna get that from our Terraform output. Where is it? All right, there it goes. All right, there it goes. Copy that Terraform output. And we got that when we did the output on the creation. We're going to copy that and we're going to go to the other tab and I'm going to put the URL, the repository URI. Let me see. Password. We got an error, so we can show you the error. It said using -- password via the CLI is insecure. Use -- password stdin AWS version 2. Login succeeded. Oh, so the login worked or not worked? I don't know. So, all right. Well, supposedly the login worked. So let's try to get to the next step here. Let me clear this out. All right, so we are gonna go to the Docker tag, source image tag, target, ECR, repo URI. And so the source target is gonna be the name you gave for the Docker build command. If you're following along, it's username / and the target ECR is the ECR URI. So let's try that. So we're gonna say Docker tag, and the source image was let me take a look at it was called so poopy pants quotes, and we're gonna say the URI, which is going to be that. So we're tagging poopy pants quotes with this URI. All right, and we're gonna say enter, and now that's tagged, and now we're going to say Docker push URI repo. So if we do this now, when we go back to our EC2, or when we go back to AWS, we should be able to see this. We should be able to see this here. So let's give it a try. Why don't we? All right. So it's pushing, or there's something. Something is preventing it from pushing. Something's not right. Let's stop that. Oops. Can't even stop it. Can't even stop it from trying it. Why is it? Maybe it didn't properly log in. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know why I can't stop it. So weird. Oops. Usually Control C would stop it. But, okay, so let me see something. Weird. I go here and I say Docker. I wonder if the login worked properly. I want to finish this part up. Let's go back to the documentation. So let's see, we do AWS ECR region, US East 1. What happens with that? The following arguments are required. Let's see, AWS help. All right, so there goes ECR. I don't know why the region isn't working. So let me see what's going on over here. This thing is like totally bugging out. So AWS ECR should take region. So let's check that real quick. Pushing a Docker image to ECR. So ECR get login dash dash region. We did that. Docker images tag. All right, we did that. And Docker. So we just have to do a Docker push at that point. Okay, let's try that. No, but oh. So let's try this command actually and see what happens. So let's copy this. Let's go back over here. We're gonna say AWS ECR get login password region US East 1. And then we're gonna say Docker login username AWS dash dash password .sdn, and we're gonna go here, and we don't need this at the moment. And so what I just did, I typed that in here, right? AWS ECR get login. I'm not gonna show it on screen just in case there's sensitive data. All right, so there is no sensitive data. We got login succeeded, so we're good. And we are gonna go to now we're going to do our push command. Barbie died. Right. So here, so this is the command. Like the it seems like the command on the free code camp was like outdated. So here we are, we're logged in, and now we're gonna say docker push that. Yeah, and it has all of that, right? So we're gonna say docker push. We're going to say enter, and that should. Why is it still retrying? I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense. Because there's no protocol in front of it. No, docker push. Maybe I need a tag on it. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. We'll pick up on this part next Sunday, where because all we have to do left is push. I don't know if it's freezing for. I don't know. It's weird. Close that out. Terminate. Whatever. We'll figure that out. It's something's causing it to get stuck. Maybe. Let's see. We go to Docker PSA, and we have this one. I don't know if there's any tags on it, but so we know the container is good, but whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up for today. It's already 5 o'clock over here, and I really appreciate everyone who tuned in, everyone who signed up. I'm going to drop in the chat again the link to my interview with the test lead. Or not my interview, but my conversation with the test lead. Really good. It was really fun. It's a very, very good video. So highly recommend you go and check that out. And have some fun with us as we were hanging on. All right, so I'm gonna drop that link in the chat. Hopefully you guys take a look at it. Also, congratulations to the test lead for hitting 10,000 subscribers. And we have welcome to the show, Majestic Logic. I don't know if I've ever spoken to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Majestic Logic said, great live till next time. Yes, of course, till next time. And our next live, we are going live tomorrow morning for some Flutter mobile development, but our next evening live is going to be Tuesday night, where we're going to be doing our Q&A session. So hope to see you there. All right. And Mitch says, have you seen Car Jitsu? So, Mitch, I have heard of it. I never really watched it for the most part, but let's find out what it is. Car Jitsu. There's a championship for it? Jesus. Oh my goodness. This is interesting. What I'm looking at right here. Quick look. This, put the timer down, and this is what we're looking at over here. There's a finals for this thing. How do they decide who sits in the back, who sits in the front? Let's see. All right, let's see what's going on here. Let's just jump over here. Let's see. Just let's see here. They start off here, take off their seatbelts, two heavily overweight guys. The refereeing from the outside. Okay. Anyways, that was interesting. That was very interesting. Which I saw it the other day, forgot to ask you about it. Thank you for forgetting. And why did you have to remember today? Anyways, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. If you haven't done so yet, do me a huge, huge favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. If you are in need of one-on-one coaching to level up your skills, get some practical experience, learn about agile methodology, learn about like different approaches to QA or to software engineering, go over to www.techcoachralph.dev and you can sign up for a coaching plan with me. So that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate you guys. Right?
I appreciate you.
But the question that I have for you before we wrap it up is...
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
I hope that you are entertained as well as well-informed and have a different perspective, have a different insight on how we approach things. The way that I approach things, this is how I've been able to level up in the tech industry. It's not just, being spoon-fed, having things handed to me. I go out there and I learn new things. And this is the reason that I don't do, like, I use courses for me to learn, right? But then I expand and I try to figure things out on my own. And I don't do here like we're doing step-by-step tutorials and stuff like that. I show you how I approach things in order so you can go out there and approach it in a similar fashion that's going to force you. Like, you see how many times I pull up Google and I pull up different resources on how to figure things out. That's the approach that you need to take. And you've never seen me pull up ChatGPT or any other of those other AI tools in order to ask them, how do I do this, right? Because they can give you pre-built code and stuff like that, but you're not going to learn. I want to do the necessary research so that I can have a better understanding and I am not dependent on AI because as helpful as AI is, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use AI, but you should make sure that you learn how to do things before you have because if you're just going to use AI to do it for you, then someone can then they don't need you, right? Because whoever is hiring you, they can just use AI to do it as well. You need to know how to properly do the things so that you can use AI to your advantage and not as what's doing your job for you, right? So that is a quick tidbit on AI. I just put the link in the chat to the video with the test lead. And so on the way out, here is what I have to tell you. Mitch already got it started about the price of the brick is going up, right? Because yesterday's price is not today's price. And today's price is not, I repeat, it is not tomorrow's price. So
one more thing. Price of the brick going up.
and on that note,
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes indeed defeated, and their lands are now bowed before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination, these are the very essence of our people. Let's believe our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla, for today we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let us not forget the price we paid, the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. As we celebrate this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles upon us forth. And the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter, for there is no limit to what we can achieve. To those who dare stand against us, let them tremble in fear, for they shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow, we set our sights on new horizons, uncharted land where our banners will fly high. We are Vikings, we're barbarians, we are masters of conquest.